So welcome to another installment of This Thrifting Life, in which I share my adventures, misadventures, successes, and failures in finding interesting, cool records out in the wild. The wild being primarily thrift stores and sometimes in the local Facebook marketplaces, etc., etc. So here's the one I'm going to profile today. This was a really sweet find. This is a success. Bobbie Gentry, Ode to Billie Joe. I found this in a thrift store bin in a Salvation Army. Now, the interesting part about this is I was about to lose hope in finding anything simply because I ended up going through a bunch of chud that I had dropped off there the week before, roughly. I'd had a yard sale, and all the records I wasn't able to sell at the yard sale, I took them to this particular Salvation Army. When I got there, I realized, oh man, I'm just going through all of the records that I dropped off last week. And then at the really towards the end of my digging in the crates, I discovered this beauty, Bobbie Gentry's Ode to Billie Joe. I'm playing it right now on my Califone. Some of you might recognize Califone if you're from maybe the Gen X generation or soon after. The Califone record player was a common device used in classrooms for listening exercises and so on. And they're sturdy, durable machines. I tend not to play new reissues on my Califone simply because it can do damage to the new records. And I find the deep groove older records do fine on the Califone and doesn't damage them at all. Anything pressed really after 1980 or the mid 80s onwards tend to not do very well on the Califone. They skip a lot. Whereas the records from the 70s, 60s, 50s, etc. tend to play through on my Califone at least. So back to the Bobbie Gentry Ode to Billie Joe record. I mean, there was a time, not that long ago, where Bobbie Gentry records were so common in thrift stores. Nowadays, however, there seems to be a rarity. People have become more attuned to the genius and beauty of Bobbie Gentry and her music. So every time I find her in a bargain bin or in a thrift store on Facebook Marketplace at reasonable prices, I will jump on. I mean, I love her music. And as I said, I don't necessarily collect records for the value, but Bobbie Gentry records have gone up so much in price, kind of like how Joni Mitchell records have skyrocketed in price. They used to be fairly common. Now you can't find, Joni Mitchell Blue for under $40 nowadays. Bobbie Gentry records in record stores now, provided that they're in, VG or more condition, tend to go for $20 to $25. And one thing I should mention, I found this record on the 4th of June. It was a Saturday. It was so unfortunate that I didn't find it on the 3rd of June, as the lyrics to the Ode to Billie Joe, the title track, declare. A nice coincidence, however. I mean, it's still pretty cool that I found it in early June in a thrift store. It's not my first copy of this record. I think I have at least one in my collection. I haven't decided whether I will keep both or decide which one is in the best condition and worthy of my collection, and maybe try to trade the one I don't want with somebody, or even sell it. I mean, sometimes I do sell. I'm guilty of that. So anyways, that is a success story in this thrifting life. Finding Bobbie Gentry's Ode to Billie Joe in a Salvation Army bargain bin after going through mounds and mounds of chud. See you next time.